Maybe you know that feeling too, where if you consciously choose to do something, no matter what it is, it's more fulfilling than if you just kind of slip into it. These aren't the huge adventures that I'd like to go on. They aren't the mind-blowing, insanely cool stuff that I want to do. It's more the basics that allow me to maybe take a step up and maybe do the insanely cool stuff afterwards, after I am more tuned in, after I am more conscious of what I'm even doing. Oh yes, I should address my hair maybe. It's crazy today, but I just wanted something weird. Hey everyone, I am Anya Esma, and today I want to talk to you about my safe action list, what that is, why I'm using it, how you can make your own, and how it could possibly help you. First of all, I want to remind you that this is of course a personal thing. Everybody has their own mental and spiritual tendencies, so while this is relevant and important to some, it may not be as pressing and needed to others. You may need to tweak it in order for it to work and improve your life. So just see how I do it. Let me tell you how I made it up and how you can make up your own list like this and what it even is, because I need to explain that as well. So specifically the struggles that I have that maybe you can relate to are threefold, and because of these three things that I struggle with, I made this list. I invented it, so to speak, for myself, and am using it every day in order to keep myself grounded and keep myself tuned in. The struggles are, first of all, a lack of motivation, because especially when I'm not working, especially when I'm on vacation or it's the weekend, I tend to get stuck a little bit. I scroll endlessly, I watch endless YouTube videos. I think we all do that sometimes, and it's kind of hard to get out of that, which means that it's not quite procrastination. There are a million things that I could do, but that I don't have to do. You know what I mean? So this isn't just about me procrastinating on things that I have to do. It's more that I want to do fun things. I want to do fulfilling things, but I can't quite get myself to. That is the first struggle. The second struggle, kind of related to that, is my inability to tune into what I actually want to do. I often don't allow myself the time and the space that I need to figure out what I want to do, to get into the flow, you know, especially when I'm with other people. I tend to kind of just float along, just do what they do, kind of accompany them, compromise basically, without even noticing that I'm compromising, without even noticing that I want to do other things and that I could be doing other things that are better for me and my health. Maybe you know that feeling where you're not going with the flow, you're just doing whatever. You know, you're just doing whatever is happening around you without actively choosing to. And then the third struggle is just plain old boredom, forgetting the things that I would like to do, forgetting the things that I always dream about doing when I'm actually not working. You know what I mean? And this also makes me fall into a hole sometimes where I think we all know that feeling where we have a million things to do. We are dreaming up these scenarios of how our life could be, but then when we have the opportunity, we fall short of it because we don't allow ourselves to get out of that rut that we're in, to stop watching YouTube videos. Please don't stop watching this video. No, I'm just kidding. Stop watching if you're supposed to do something else or this isn't tuning you into what you really want to do. Anyways, I'm going to be excited to look at how many people stopped watching this video right that second when I said that. Anyways, so yes, what I'm saying is this list is basically to alleviate these struggles. You might also want to watch my video about feeling like you don't have time, even though you do have time, because that kind of plays into it. And that's not a struggle I really deal with anymore, but it is certainly something that I used to deal with. The struggle of having 4 hours before you have an appointment and feeling like you can't do anything in those 4 hours because you have to prepare for the appointment. You know what I mean? So that's a different video. I will link it below. Either way, the goal of this safe action list is to create something that helps you act consciously and intuitively. For me, it helps me to do the things that I actually want to do and that make me feel fulfilled. And I also do them intentionally, because this is an important point for me. If I spend 8 hours playing video games intentionally because I said, hey, dear husband, let's have an 8-hour video game session, then I'm fine with it. You know, I embrace it. I'm happy afterwards because I consciously made that decision. However, if I just end up playing video games for 8 hours, that won't make me happy. I just kind of slipped into it, forgot everything else that I could have done, and it doesn't feel fulfilling. It doesn't feel like I am doing something that I consciously chose. And maybe you know that feeling too, where if you consciously choose to do something, no matter what it is, it's more fulfilling than if you just kind of slip into it. And we all have different things that that take that role in our lives, where we have the tendency to slip into them, whether it's playing video games, watching YouTube videos, playing app games, whatever you have, or maybe even reading books. Some people just slip into reading books and then afterwards don't feel happy because they wanted to do something else, you know. Or going out with friends can be a way to avoid what you actually want to do as well. So be present, be aware of the things that make you avoid more fulfilling activities. Be mindful of when you feel unfulfilled after doing something and why you have the tendency to do it anyways. And once again, I want to stress that this is not about going with the flow or being intuitive. You know, that is the goal, but what we're actually doing is not going with the flow, but just kind of doing whatever. There's a very fine line between the two, and I hope that I'm making you understand what I mean. Let me know if you have no idea what I'm talking about, because I know a lot of people don't struggle with this at all. So if you're one of those people who do struggle with it, let me know if you understand what I mean. Now let's get to the solution. My safe action list. I will just show it to you here, ta-da, and also show you a close-up right now. So these are actions that are guaranteed to make me feel fulfilled. And honestly, it's really about just looking at that list and choosing a thing consciously. And that already makes me feel better than just kind of slipping into opening Instagram, opening YouTube, whatever. Just spend 1 minute looking at the list, picking one thing and doing that. These are like the basic actions, the most basic building blocks, the most basic gateways to deeper actions for me. These aren't the huge adventures that I'd like to go on. They aren't the mind-blowing, insanely cool stuff that I want to do. It's more the basics that allow me to maybe take a step up and maybe do the insanely cool stuff afterwards, after I am more tuned in, after I am more conscious of what I'm even doing. So even when I'm essentially just relaxing and doing fun things, I feel like I do it consciously rather than falling into that hole. What also helps me are some easy witchcraft practices. You will notice that my safe action list has some kind of slightly witchy psychological archetype stuff on it. I also have a video about easy witchcraft practices that I will link below, and those are definitely also a resource that I use in order to make myself feel tuned in and good. And another thing that I do every week is my reset routine that also helps me, you know, be in control of what I do. It opens up my day. It makes me feel like I have control and power over my own life. So yes, basically, I will link that video down below as well, my reset routine. Oh yes, I should address my hair maybe. It's crazy today, but I just wanted something weird. So, of course, everybody's spiritual practice, everybody's mental health practice is different, and they are very intertwined to me, spirituality and mental health. So that is why on my safe action list, you will find things like tarot next to cooking, next to meditating, next to affirmations, because all of these things they go hand in hand for me to help me live a conscious life. Also, I want to say real quick that by identifying what things can be a gateway into being less conscious for me, I can keep myself on a higher level. What I mean is that I know that video games, which did make it on the list right down here, are a way for me to numb myself if I do it without intention. If I don't just sit down and say, I'll play for half an hour and I'll do this, this, and this. You know, those gamers amongst you will know how it is. You do one quest, you want to do one quest, you want to do one weekly task, and it becomes like 3 hours of playing. So knowing this and being aware of it and catching myself and keeping that in control, under control, is very important to me. And also, the last point is engage in Instagram community meaningfully. You know, if I just scroll through Instagram, we all scroll through Instagram and it doesn't feel quite right. But if I do it meaningfully and comment and share things in my story and post myself and, you know, interact with people, that's when it becomes meaningful. So I try to stay on track with that rather than just scrolling. Basically, this is the list that I go to when I have no idea what to do, I have forgotten anything I can do, and would simply do the easiest thing. And what comes easiest to me is video games, being on my phone, sleeping. And in order to actually stay conscious and do the things that I want to do, I have this list to tune me back into what I truly want and what will authentically nourish me and make me feel fulfilled rather than empty and drifty. You know, let me know if you make a list like this for yourself, whether it would work for you, whether you have similar struggles or completely different struggles that you may need a different list for. I also have an Instagram and a Patreon where I publish posts and resources for you to live a more conscious and more tuned in life. As you can tell, I am in the process myself. I am on the path myself, which I think is essential to helping others, sharing my own path, my own struggles, and, you know, sharing what helped me, what works for me. And the safe action list is definitely one of those things. So hopefully it will be fun for you and help you, and I wish you the best of days, the best of weeks. All of the links are below, and yeah, if you want to stay in my domain, by the way, and dwell a little longer, then you can subscribe to me, and blah blah blah, the whole jazz. You know how it is, you know how the magic goes. Yes, I will see you next time.